Dear uncle, you failed to slay us all. I live. I am at the gates, and not alone. All my life, something was missing. But in exile, I found it. True dedication. A bond unbreakable. The promise of the Varangian Guard. Justice is on the march. Can you hear it?
The character, you can see pretty unique silhouette. Also massive shout out to the animation team just for the twitching stance.
Yeah, it looks
Oh my
amazing,
God,
right?
you
We take a
feel
lot
the
of
weight
time
so
for the
much.
chain stance, yes.
Like I could do that for an hour. Alright, so here we have a heavy hero. So those heroes tend to be a bit less extravagant in terms of the amount of moves. So we have a 2-hit chain, right? So light heavy, heavy heavy, heavy light,
Light heavy, yeah.
etc. So first, let's go with the lights. We really wanted to do a superior block focus hero. So all of our lights have super. You can see the ones in chains as well. You'll see later whenever she has other lights, it will also have a superior block. That's just a theme that's gonna be recurrent.
The lights are also enhanced. It's great for offense as for a 2-hit hero. It's pretty
Exactly. In our case, you want to get to your finishers, so make a lot of sense. And also, like, that weapon is quite heavy. It kind of really fits with the character as a whole. And then for the heavies, the heavy finishers are unblockable. So you can see like this wild swings. And if you notice, the axe gets embedded into the opponent in what we call the Aesir state. So what does that mean? When you embed the axe in the opponent, you can do a headbutt to just reset your chain. But they can dodge that headbutt, in which case you can guard break them. If they do dodge attack, they will beat your guard break. So in this case, you can also just bait them to do it, parry or dodge or whatever.
So I want to note that headbutt, for all you frame checkers out there, is 400 milliseconds. It is fully unreactable. We've done tests with people that have borderline superhuman reactions, and they were not able to react to them at all. So that's great.
Nice.
It's a very, very potent mix-up.
Exactly. Of course, for the chains, you can also do the zone attack and get to the finisher.
Yeah, so zone into light as well. So like all like zone acts as a opener basically.
Yeah. Then I guess we should jump into the specials.
Yeah.
First, let's look at that sprint attack because it's a top attack. So it's kind of quite unique. So dive in. You really feel the weight of the weapon as she crashes down. And yeah. Of course, you can go to the chain.
Exactly, right? Like we usually tend to do, so it's great.
Yeah.
You have dodge attacks as well?
Yeah. So side dodge light, front dodge light. As you can see, because they're light attacks, they have this spear block property. So like if you attack me in top heavy, for example, I can just
There you go. Wow, that's pretty good.
And then for the openers, of course you have your enhanced light that helps, but with that shield, people are pretty used to just having a bash opener. Same as other heroes in terms of timing, so this helps you to get into that chain, get a extra way to open.
And then that opener goes to that bash. That shield bash goes to your openers, right? So it doesn't go to your second hit in your chain. So it does open up for chains where you get a chance to get a little bit deeper.
Exactly. You can just reset your chain. Various ways. Important to note, because we didn't mention it during the chain, she doesn't have a bash and chain. Her heavy finishers are already unblockable, so you're kind of gonna do your mix-ups with those instead.
And so that was a conscious choice that we made as well, because her defense is quite potent, right? Having chain lights that, actually finisher lights that have superior block. They have like a long delay windows, all that stuff we can do with that. So we wanted to really focus on her defense there. And there's another little move that we want to talk about right now, right?
Yes. So with shields come great responsibility in a down stance. But this one is quite different. So first, it's kind of like a Ramusha, where it's just a temporary base one. You can cancel your attack recoveries into it as well. But of course, I can get guard broken, and I can get hit in the recovery. So it's just you're gonna get those moments where you can bait the dodge attack, for example, go into your down stance. But you got to be careful because you got to time it. And then if we look at the follow-ups, so let's see. You have the heavy, which is unblockable. There's something special here we can do in any stance. I think this is the first time we do that with.
Yeah, it's the first time that we end up having like those type of follow-ups be. You can pick your stance. It's very, very much the core of For Honor to be able to attack in a specific stance, choose where you're going. And this also adds like another layer of depth to this hero a little bit, where it's like, well, I can pick my stance. I can go in a situational manner where I have somebody on my left, somebody on my right. What am I going to do with it? And so like the other follow-ups are also interesting as well, right? So
So you got your top heavy for max damage, the side one if you want to hit someone on your side. You have the light attack. Of course, they have superior block as well. And can chain. You have the zone attack. So that's if you have like multiple people around you, for example. And just get away from me option. And then you got the bash. That bash can wall splat as well. So of course you can use it to ledge someone, but it can be used as well just to top heavy for a little bit more damage. Now some of you may have noticed whenever I do block GC, the animation on the other side is quite different than usual. That's a place where we decided, let's try something new, where whenever you block someone with this, you will bind them, right?
Yeah.
So that causes some difference. One, it gives you more time to decide what you want to be doing after, because you have so many options.
Yeah, you can delay the follow-up like quite a bit. Which is kind of cool, right? Because it gives you like a lot of control over when you're going to do stuff. It gives you a little bit more time to think, a little bit more time to look around what's going on around you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
It also means that if you block a trajectory, like let's say someone's attacking GC, but I'm in the way of the trajectory and I downstand, I'm just going to interrupt them. The attack will never reach GC.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you have other heroes that can kind of like, babysit gang, what we call it. Like you stay on the sidelines, you hold your full block and you just wait there. And then you kind of like hope to catch trajectories, and sometimes you do. They don't necessarily bounce. You get your follow-up, but it doesn't feel as good. So in this case, this is a big part of the support hero, right? So we want to be able to give her a way to very, very effectively counter those big, massive trajectories that we have in group fights. There's a mid giant opposing team. No big deal. I'm going to get there. I'm going to tap down, block their big, big trajectories, be able to counter them, save my allies, save a lot of people. So that's really great. But that is also a big part of why it's timed, right? So we wanted to have like that skill-based aspect here, a little bit like we have with BP, where like you have to time things a little bit better. You can't just go and hold down. It doesn't last forever. So it really rewards skillful play, timing, understanding, knowing how fast attacks are, slow they are, how you're able to like manipulate the situation around you to really be able to vastly punish your opponents really, really well. Exactly. That's super cool. And then, like as we'll see, the entire feat set, like most of the feat set revolves around being able to like block and support your allies there as well. So that's a big, big, big part of this hero.
Exactly. There's another thing that we did. So when you parry someone at 1 HP and then their friend attack you, and then you parry their friend, and then you're like, oh, I can't kill you now. You recovered. Well, let's fix that with this stance. So because we're pushing a bind on the opponent, the more people that you block, everyone will be binded by the knock of the shield. So then it kind of allows you to choose your target That's something that other heroes don't have. Normally, if I block someone externally with a down stance, my follow-up is going to be on them. With Varangian, you can choose your target, and no matter who you block, you're always going to be able to hit whoever you blocked. And you can also, if someone tries to peel you, you can just attack the external as well, as we see in the video.
Yeah.
And then you can see, because you can choose your target, we put a lot of effort into a new tech where she will detect where the hit is coming from, and as you see in the video right now, she will just play an animation accordingly while still looking at her target.
Well, there's a lot of animation in this system.
Yeah.
Because we had to really plan ahead on like every direction from the player that you're locked on and you're fighting, but if it's coming there, but if somebody's coming on the other way, so from there going on the other side, the shield's pretty big, don't forget that.
Yeah. We got to swing it around.
How do we do it? How do we turn all of that? It looks simple, but it's pretty complex, and it really gives the defensive like feeling of this character that she can protect you if you fight with her on your team. It gives
you that cool, like, you know, cool girls don't look at explosions type of feel, you know? It's super awesome, but I find, like, even what Alex was talking about, like the tactical aspect here of I can block multiple people, and what's super cool is that if you manage to block 4 people, right, you have the time to choose who you're going to pick and who you're going to do your follow-up against. And that's kind of part of the tech that we've built for this hero, where if I block a single person, I have my follow-up against that single person. It's good. If I block 2, I have time to choose which one of the 2. If I block 4, you have time for all 4. And as soon as you throw an attack, everybody that you did bind with your block kind of gets out of it. So there's no real situations where you're going to get punished by somebody that you blocked by because you did something else. And it's really all about like making those choices, making sure that you have that control in your hands and have like perfecting the skill, the situational awareness, knowing what's going on around you. It's amazing for this. And again, like the animation team did a wonderful job. Alex did a wonderful job there as well. Making sure that we keep that feeling of I'm blocking in direction. We don't have like, you know, spinning around like we have with other heroes when they blocked. It looks really, really good there.
And it's important to mention that the GPP team as well like worked a lot on this.
It
was really like a group effort to make it work.
This was not this was not a simple topic to tackle for the team, but
you guys pulled it off amazing. So it's super great.
Looks great.
Really cool.
All right. So we want to talk about Feats a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're at the Feats now.
Yeah, we have a little video, right?
Yeah, let's go. We're going to run the video. So the first feat is called Take Shelter. So this is part of her support kit. Whenever you land a superior block, you can see the little sphere going to the Valkyrie, and it heals her, but it doesn't heal Varangian, the Varangian guard. So that means that you're basically just going to be standing there in team fights, healing all of your allies. You're keeping them healthy. Of course, it's quite a potent heal, so you're not healing yourself. That's kind of the...
Yeah, and there's no cooldown on it, and it triggers off of every super block, so your full block and as well your crushing counters when you're using your lights.
Exactly.
So it triggers off of all that, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Now, for the feat 2, because your feat 1 is not keeping you alive, we have Mystia Ward, which is whenever you superior block an attack, you will gain a big defense buff for a short duration. That's kind of like the Lawbringer feat 3.
Yeah, it's kind of like Righteous Deflection, right? But it's on superior block instead of being on fire.
Exactly. Just to make sure that whenever you're in those big team fights that you don't go down too fast. And now, to go back into the support, here's the Aesir Aura. So that one is every single time you land an unblockable heavy, you will pulse a AoE that will give a little attack buff to you and your friends. So that really allows you get that Aesir bind with the heavy, and then you and your friend can kind of take advantage of it with the damage buff.
So all of this kind of plays into the support and the defensive and tactical aspects that we talked about. That it's really great there.
Yeah.
All right, then we got feat 4.
Yeah, and then feat 4. Reclaim the land. So going back to fight the uncle. So as you see, it seems like it's a projectile from the sky, so that's kind of like a spear storm. It acts kind of like a catapult, so you cannot do it indoor. So there's going to be a bunch of spears that fall into your enemy for damage, and then it's going to leave a Doom Banner, which is, if people are familiar, it's the Berserker feat 2, so it plants a banner, and then every enemy inside of it is going to have lesser defense, and
Yeah, debuffs defense. So it's really great for like point control, that sort of stuff. You get in, you throw that. There's a bunch of people in there. Even if they dodge out, well, then you can go into that banner and then try to beat me. You know, so it feels again, it feeds into all those aspects.
Exactly.
It's really really interesting feats there.
Like we're going there. There's a banner. Attack everyone. Get the buff. Heal everyone. Embed your axe in people.
There you go. Works really good.
Easy.
Super easy.
Right.
Cool. Great. Yeah, so definitely a lot of really cool like defensive options, tactical, like you were talking about here. Just such a like a huge support character, which is really just really fun. Like I like that a lot personally, so I can't wait to play her next week as well. Do you have some other things you want to show off though too? Right?
Yeah.
I think we have
a video for emotes.
Execution.
Oh, yeah.
And
Let's go
emotes.
see.
Well, yeah. Max,
So let's jump into the emotes.
Yes.
So we got the combat emotes here.
There you go. So we have all the emotes for her representing herself. Like she rally people around her, like the Doom banner, exactly. Like it's a bit that, like the banner that comes in, you want to be with her when you fight. Some also like fun emote because
some other fun ones. Yeah.
I mean we have So
you want to recreate the trailer? You get all the emotes to recreate the trailer. That's super cool.
Yeah. No, exactly. It really showed the personality of the character itself, and of course, player customization. It's really fun to be the one that call out your ally. So
it's a huge aspect of For Honor.
Yeah,
it's
it
amazing.
Is. It is. Yeah, sometimes things don't work as intended. So.
All right, so we're gonna have executions that'll be coming up shortly.
But she's got to finish stretching.
Yeah,
this is
it.
right.
I really like this. This emote. It's like
amazing.
I mean,
you press
those
it,
weapons are heavy, so sometimes you just have to
It also
it out a
reminds
bit
you, like when you game, you gotta stretch sometime. Take a little bit of water.
Okay, cool. So we've got those, and we have executions as well.
Yes,
Show off a little bit?
execution.
They're so good. They're
Yes.
so good.
So you really feel the heaviness of this fighter in those executions.
And I love like how we kind of handled the shield with like kind of punching with the shield as well.
She really used it more like as a defensive tool, but also as
it's pointy,
Yeah, I mean it has a dual like she can use it as to protect, but also to attack, which she does.
And this is where also like the violent Viking part of it comes into play, right? It's
exactly what Stefan was saying in the beginning.
Exactly right. So she's more controlled in general in her